Told him that if he no longer wanted to be involved in the twins' lives, I wouldn't be angry at him. He cried a lot that night, and cried himself to sleep during the next days. It was awful to see him like this, and I couldn't do anything but try to comfort him. I tried to talk to my kids, to tell them they really needed to apologize, but they refused completely, saying they had a dad and didn't need them, and it made me question what kind of kids I was raising. As predicted, from one day to the other, left the city and never called Olivia or Enzo again. When they realized what had happened, they were devastated. I was there for them, but it shocked me how they wanted to pretend everything was okay between them and Ian, calling him dad again. Ian simply told them he was not their dad and would clearly never be. This has been going on for a while. They were thinking Ian would change his mind eventually and forgive them, but that has not happened. As a last card, they came to me and told me to speak to Ian, and I told them we had talked many times, and it was clear Ian would no longer be involved in their lives, which is what they wanted anyway, so I don't know what the problem was. They were shocked with my response, and kept trying to convince me, but I made clear that my husband is a human with feelings, not a wallet and a replacement for the pathetic man they like to call real dad, and that if they thought they could disrespect people that care for them without any consequence, then they were very, very wrong. I told them there was no going back from this, that things would not be the same and they had themselves to blame for that. They shouldn't have taken for granted a person that was always there for them. They went crying to my mom after that, and she told me she understood why I was upset with them, but couldn't side with my husband in this, that they are kids that made a mistake a second chance, and I should try to solve things. And to be honest, I don't think I can. I love my kids and they will always be my priority, and this has not changed my love for them, but I also love my husband, and he's such a great man who stepped up when he didn't have an obligation and was such a support for me and for the kids. He was the father they never had for so long, and even if I try, I don't think I'm even close to know the amount of pain that can cause you to have the kids that you raised as your own for years to tell you you're not their real dad and to treat you as literal trash. As much as I want them to make up, I know my husband is so hurt and they caused that over what? A man they had seen barely like 7 times in their whole life? Ian is now convinced that Enzo and Olivia don't love him and only saw him as a replacement, and he thinks that if their real dad ever shows up again, they would treat him like crap again, and well, although I don't think my kids would do that, I know he has every right to feel that way, and if Ian no longer feels comfortable involved on my kid's life, then I don't think I can contradict him. They just broke the relationship. Ian is usually a pretty reasonable man, and he has thought a lot about this, so I know that he's sure about his choice. I know he has been crushed with this, and now he wants us to have a kid, but I have told him no because I believe he just wants to replace Olivia and Enzo. Despite respecting my husband's decision, I don't want my kids to lose the man they've seen as their father ever since they can remember. I know it's going to crush them and it will affect them even more in the future, and sometimes I wonder if I should